Hello, people. Welcome back to another video by your good friend Chad Marco. I'm sorry I look so tired. I've been up to say the least. But you guys know I've been teasing you for quite a while about getting a new computer because the laptop that I've been using for the past few years, quite frankly, is falling apart. You know, it's been getting to the point where if I'm doing something like rendering a video, it'll just shut down. It'll overheat and shut down, right? Okay, fine. But then it starts overheating while I'm doing my music, while I'm doing my streaming. And that's when I realized, okay, it's time to get something else, right? And for years, people have always told me, Chad, stop getting laptops. Laptops are fragile. They're rarely very powerful. They're just not really a good long-term solution, right? If you want to really get into PCing, right? Computering, if you will. And so I finally decided, you know what? I'm going to get a big boy computer. I'm going to get me a desktop, right? But before I was able to make my purchase, you know, a good friend of the channel, Hellbreaker, he recommended getting a mini PC. A mini PC, you might ask, what the fuck is that? Well, a mini PC is basically a computer, but it's like pint-sized, miniature, midget, elf mode, gnome, hobbit, right? Small computer. And when you look at it, it's kind of like, oh man, like I can't imagine something like that really getting the job done, but boy, oh boy. So I decided to go ahead and buy one. And so the one that he recommended first was the Minisforum, I think UM780, right? He recommended me some more, but I went ahead and just went with the Minisforum because it just seemed to be perfect for what I would need it for. And my main concern is mostly like video editing, music, things like and streaming as well, right? Because with the laptop that I've been using for the past couple of years, you guys know, if you can see my streams, my gaming streams are in like 10p 14p. I could never stream in not even 480, let alone 720 1080, right? And I've been doing my weekend live streams more often, and even those are kind of limited by the weak CPU that I've been using on my on my laptop. So I've been just so limited, right? And that was the main thing I wanted. But I figure a good benchmark for getting a new computer would be like, get something that can play games. Like if it can play like some heavy duty games, right? Like Resident Evil 2 Remake or Far Cry, whatever the case may be. I figure if it can do that, then it can do everything else I need to do. So that was the benchmark that I was aiming for. And the Minisforum that I was looking at, the Minisforum mini PC that I was looking at, seemed to be exactly the case. Now I know you guys wanted me to like show me unboxing it and all that. Well, it's too late. I got a little bit too excited, and quite frankly, I got it Monday, and it's Friday. It's Thursday night, and I've been just painstakingly setting it up. You know, had to transfer all my files. Well, not all, but the important stuff from my laptop to this computer. Setting up programs, black market programs, right? Had to go find stuff and just putting I've been working nonstop. That's why I haven't been uploading this week. I've just been completely focused on just getting this motherfucker together. And so I've already got it set up internally. Like I got the music going. I just did my first streaming test, and I was able to stream Resident Evil 2 Remake in 1080p. I also did a 720p stream. There were some hiccups here and there, but I think that it's going to be a learning curve for me to figure out how strong this thing is, right? Like initially the stream wouldn't even work. Then I found out that my drivers weren't updated. I updated the drivers, boom, streaming worked. So I'm figuring out recording on OBS. It's a learning process. But let's get to the nitty gritty, right? Let's just look at the thing. So I already opened it and set it up, but I took it apart so that we could go ahead and look at it. So I'm going to change view real quick. Ooh, okay, so this is it right here. This is the Minisforum. 780. This is exactly how big it is. Right? Apparently size doesn't matter when it comes to computers nowadays, but this is it right here, baby. This is the bad boy. So let's look at what it's got. Obviously it's not very big. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Yeah, obviously it's not very big. So you see the size here. The Minisforum logo. Let's look at what it's got going. So you got the power button right here, right? Power button. And you have two high-speed USB ports right there in the front. And then you have a USB 4 port right there in the front as well. And then this is your microphone or speaker jack, so you can plug your headphones or speakers into this. This is great too, because the speaker jack on my laptop was was so fucked up I had to buy an adapter to simulate having a fucking speaker port, right? So having this is nice, but that was more so my fault of just fucking up one of the laptop, right? And then let's look at the back here. So you have two more USB ports on the back. So in total you have 4 USB ports, and I think they're all high-speed USB ports. You can see the blue color on the inside to indicate that. And then you have another USB 4 here, right there. And then this is the DP. I have no idea what this is. This is the DP. I have no idea what that is. The Oculink. I think the Oculink is so that you can add on like a GPU or some other like computer add-on accessory or something like that. It came with one inside of the box, and I think that's what they're for, so that you can. It gives you like just more ability to upgrade it or something like that. And right here, the most important part to me, the HDMI port, because I didn't buy a monitor, so I'm basically using my flat screen as my monitor. I realized though I'm gonna have to get a monitor at some point, right? Because the thing about the laptop, laptop is the computer and the monitor, so I could hook that into my TV, and but with this, I don't have like that if I was doing like a gaming stream on my PS4, right, I wouldn't be able to see I wouldn't be able to see what's up here. So I need a monitor, right? But for right now, I'm just using my TV. So I won't be doing any gaming streams off my PS4 for the time being until I get a monitor. But I can do gaming streams just off of this, right? So then we got two 2.5G LAN ports, right, for your Ethernet cable. So got 2 of these. And then this is where you plug in the power cord, the power supply. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you turn it on, I wonder if I can get this off. You can lift it up right here, right? And when you turn it on, there's like a LED light under this little tiger logo, and it changes colors from blue to green to red, and it basically is like a nice little design, right? So you basically, when you turn it on, you see like, oh, green tiger, blue tiger, and apparently you can get like get custom images and shit. Maybe one day I'll do that, but for now, not really important. But just a little aesthetic bonus, right? Just it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So let's look at what else it came with. Okay, so I found the power cord. This is the power cord right here. Nice little power block here, and then I haven't even unrolled these yet. Not really necessary. But yeah, this is basically the power cord. You plug that into the back here. Beep, 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 beep. You plug this into the back and then put it into socket in the wall. It has a 3-prong. It has a 3-prong plug-in, by the way. But that's really about it as far as like what came with. There's some more stuff that it came with, but that's the most important. Let me show off some other stuff though. This is the box it came in. This is the box it came in. Let me here you have instruction manual, Minisforum. It came with an HDMI cord, but I already had one, and I got a backup one. So didn't really need this, but it's always good to have an extra HDMI cord. You never know when somebody's might go out in the house. This is the Oculink thing. I'll be lying if I said I had any idea what I would do with this, but from what I remember hearing, like, this is just like a way for you to be able to upgrade it if you needed to, because that's kind of the downside of the mini PC, by the way. You know, they can be pretty powerful. They pack a punch in a small package, but at the same time, you know, they don't really offer a lot of like upgrade ability, because just look at it. You know, it's not like the standard desktop tower where you can fill it with water cooling systems and right, you can stack hard drives and all that shit. I think there is like a little bit you can do in here. I remember somebody said like you could put an extra SSD or something like that in here, but that's not a lot. It's not a lot you can do with it as far as customizing it, right? It's really like just pre-built, here you go. Right, have fun kind of PC. But for me, works exactly what I need. Works for exactly what I need it for. There's also a stand in here, right? You set this up, there's like a little stand. I don't imagine I would need it. I might fuck with it later, but I was in such a rush to just go ahead and get this thing going. Okay, so that was basically the breakdown of the outside of the Minisforum computer. Also, just real quick, I want to show you guys some of the accessories that I bought though. Now, these didn't come with it, but these were just some things that I bought to go with it out of necessity, right? So first off, I needed a mouse. You buy, because you know the mini PC doesn't come with a mouse and keyboard and things like that. Now, luckily, I had a USB mouse and a wired keyboard laying around, but you know, I wanted to go ahead and like upgrade a little bit, so I bought another wireless mouse, one that's just a little bit better quality. It's bigger, it's nice. You know, I also for the first time got a mouse pad. I don't think I ever had a mouse pad in my life. Even when I owned a desktop years and years ago, I don't think I ever owned a goddamn mouse pad. But I bought a mouse pad and a mouse because, again, mini PC doesn't come with it. And it was so funny because I'm so used to buying laptops that I wasn't worried about it. Luckily, I had those laying around anyway, but I still bought another one just to, you know, splurge a little bit. I also bought another gamepad because I figured that I would make use of the gaming capabilities of this mini PC. This is actually a very cheap, it looks nice. I know this thing looks fucking nice, and don't get me wrong, this is a solid controller, but I literally paid like $27 for this at Walmart. It looks nice, but this is like one of the cheaper game pads that you can get, and it's wired, but you can take this part out, so just in case you get a shortage in the wire, you can replace it. So this was a pretty good pickup right here. Now, I already had a gamepad, but it was aging a little bit. Like the triggers buttons were getting a little bit too sensitive, so I went ahead and just got another one because I figured I might be doing a little bit more heavy PC gaming now that I can. And this is probably the worst thing I bought. I bought a keyboard. Now, this is the cheapest keyboard I could find in Walmart. This is this bare bones keyboard, no colors. Right, even the lettering on the keyboard is like too dark, if you ask me. It's not like bright white like it should be. I'll probably get another keyboard, like something like more like a better quality, but again, I'm kind of on a budget. I spent all the money on the fucking mini PC, which by the way, the price of it, it was listed as I think $559, but after tax it came up to $610, right? So I was saving up for quite a while to get that, and you know, I had some leftovers, so that's why I went ahead and got this stuff right here. So yeah, I bought a new keyboard. Well, Right. You get what you pay for. But I bought this keyboard, a nice mouse pad, and a game pad to go with it. Oh, and most importantly, hold up. I also got another. I got a flash drive. This was $7 and some change at Walmart. But this thing has like 60 fucking gigs, bro. It's like they got 60 gigs of space. Pretty amazing, right? And I really now I already have backup hard drives, but I don't like unplugging them and all that. So I use this to transfer a lot of the files from my laptop and bring it over to the mini PC because I don't like, I have the old school hard drives, the ones that if you breathe on it, they'll break. So that's why I wanted to get this, because this made it easier to transfer files from the laptop to the Minisforum mini PC. But most importantly, I knew I needed this from the very beginning, right? So this is a USB adapter. Well, a USB port adapter. And so, of course, you plug it into one of the USB ports and it gives you access to 4 more USB ports. And you can turn them on and off. This thing is cheap. I better be careful. I think I got this for like $5 or something at Five Below. But yeah, and you can turn them on and off, but it got 4 ports. The reason why I bought this now, and I think about it, on my laptop, it has 3 USB ports, right? But it comes with a mouse pad and a keyboard. So you don't really have to plug in a mouse or a keyboard. And so essentially I was used to having 3 open USB ports at all times. Because again, laptop, mouse pad, got a keyboard on it. You don't need to plug that stuff in. With the Minisforum mini PC, it's got 4 USB ports, but I already need 2 for a mouse and a keyboard, right? So that only leaves me with 2 USB ports, but I'm used to having 3. And so that's why I went ahead and bought this, because I'll basically have access to more USB ports than I would even need. So I'm gonna have a mouse and keyboard plugged in, which will leave me with 2 more ports. I plug this in. Now I have 5 available ports. Get it? So that's why I bought this. All right, so we got everything set up. So we got the little mouse and mouse pad right there. Got a keyboard, the Minisforum right here, the USB port adapter, power cord, everything plugged in. So let's hit that button. Woo! Look at that. Ain't that fancy? And it's not very loud either. I've heard the fan pick up speed at certain points, but overall the fan this thing is very quiet. I've only noticed like pickups during like playing like Resident Evil 2 Remake, and even then it wasn't very loud, right? Just a smooth right. All right, so let's see here. Okay, we're in. Okay, so we are back, and I'm now inside the Minisforum UM780 mini PC. All right, so let's check out something very important. So we're going to check out the AMD Software Adrenaline Edition. So this is how we'll be able to check out the hardware and the software and know exactly what we're working with here. All right, so let me see. So these are some of the programs I've been using to kind of test the power level of this thing. Resident Evil 2, Dragon's Dogma, Fallout New Vegas. I think on my older laptop, I probably could have played Fallout New Vegas at the like lowest settings, but definitely would have never been able to run Resident Evil 2 Remake or something like Dragon's Dogma. Doubtful. So these were like pretty important tests. Also, my old laptop did run Adobe Premiere, but it would oftentimes just shut down while rendering. So we're gonna take a look at some of these things, but let me see if I can find the actual, let me see, is it performance? Where is it? Where is the, I'm trying to find, let me see, let me see, dun, dun, dun. Settings, home. All right, so here we go. So we can look at some of the hardware here. So this is the AMD Radeon 780M graphics. Hardware details. So AMD Radeon 780M, powered by AMD. Let's see here. So memory bit rate 5 GBps. Total memory bandwidth 89 gigabytes. Like I know what the hell that is. I'm pretty sure it's good. These are good numbers. Let me see here. So here's some more stat facts for you guys. Quite frankly, I don't understand a lot of what this is, but apparently it's good. This was the main thing I was looking for right here, though. RAM. This was it. Like, this is what I was looking for. So my laptop had 8 gigs of RAM, and that was where I started to notice the limitations of the laptop, was that goddamn 8G. And so my original plan was just to go up to 16 GB, because that's double. So I figured that would be good. But luckily with this, I doubled the double and we're up to 32 RAM. But you know, having a lot of RAM essentially just allows your computer to have a lot more processing power. So you can have different tasks running at the same time, or singular tasks, which are very demanding of the power of your computer. You know, that it'll basically have room to spread out those demands, right? And so one thing I've noticed with this particular computer is that the CPU usage doesn't really get very high. And it's because we got so much RAM here. And I'm very thankful for that, because I really pushed that laptop to its limits. I got all 8 gigs out of that RAM, I swear. But with this, I'm still trying to figure out, you know, exactly how far can I push it. And so I'm still doing experiments here and there, but we're gonna look at just different things and see what it can do and what I've learned so far about this computer. So let's continue. Let's look at FL Studio real quick. One of the most important programs for me. So this is FL Studio. This is my music making program. It was very it was very annoying trying to transfer everything from my laptop to this computer, because there's got project files and different samples and shit. Oh Lord. But we got it done. So let's just play something real quick, and we'll look at the CPU usage, and you can see it up here, I think around this area. So pay attention to that. So you see there is hitting about 13 at the most, right? Again, not very much. On my other on my laptop, it probably would have went much higher. So, and this is a finished project too. So usually with finished projects, but with all the plugins and effects and samples and everything you got going on, it can really start to demand a bit too much of the CPU once it hits the later stages of the development of a song or a beat. And so I can see now, even with a finished project, it doesn't really take up too much of this computer's processing power, which is very much good news for me. But let's look at something else. So this is Adobe Premiere. This is one of the most demanding programs that I was using on my laptop. And the Adobe Premiere is known for being very CPU intensive. And ever since I turned on this PC just now, I haven't heard the fan until I turned until I clicked on this program. Now, I haven't really pushed it the way I have on my laptop. I've just kind of been playing around with it a little bit, but I've already noticed that it renders faster and it's much easier for me to do my edits, because when I would use this on my laptop, it would freeze and stall and slow down and crash like very frequently. It was, man, looking back, it's a miracle. I struggled through painstakingly making the videos that I did the way I did. Like that fucking Amro video, like doing that with on that laptop with this program running so slowly and so poorly. Oh man, but I can already tell that up here the program is gonna run a lot smoother. It's gonna render a lot faster just based on the small tests that I've done so far. I'm already seeing good things. It's so responsive. I'm not seeing any slowdown or anything like that. So I'm very excited about really trying to push this thing to its limits on this computer. But yeah, this is one of the main things I needed and one of the main reasons why I needed to upgrade. All right, so now we're gonna do a few gaming tests. So you guys know that when I played, or when I had my laptop, the most I could do was about PlayStation 1 if I was running an emulator. Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, and above just would not work, especially not PS2. Now, I'm not going to bother showing off PS1 because I've always been able to play PS1 games. But we'll start small with Dreamcast, right? So I was not able to run Dreamcast games pretty much at all without significant slowdown, stalling, and things like that. So let's turn on Zombie Revenge. I noticed with the emulators, you don't hear the computer at all. It's very silent.
Select players.
Our
Machine gun. Bullets.
You saw the Dreamcast test there. And again, for most people, that doesn't mean anything. But for me, I'm telling you, I could not run Dreamcast emulator. Like, my laptop maxed out at about PS1. I attempted Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, PS2, and I always got very, very, very limited performance. That's why whenever I did like PS1 gaming playthroughs or whatever, you wouldn't see me do like a lot of PS2 stuff because I wasn't able to emulate it on my laptop. So let's look at the PS2 emulator. Now this is the first real test. Okay, so we got the PS2 emulator up and going. So let me see. Let me check out. Oh, let me just make sure the graphic card is right. All right, so let me go to OpenGL. All right, that should do. Let's check out Resident Evil Outbreak File 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so there we saw a bit of the PS2 emulation and it worked pretty smoothly. I noticed some minor screen tearing, but I'm still, messing with the settings and whatnot. I've actually gotten it quite a bit smoother than that. But again, I'm experimenting right now, trying to figure out like what are the best settings, and different games require different settings. But the important thing is we got it working, and I've been testing it out on several different games and it's relatively stable. It's just the nature of emulators where you got to do modifications for damn near each game. So now comes another test. All right, so let's check out Fallout New Vegas. Okay, so Fallout looks pretty good. Now, the only thing about Fallout that I've noticed, and this is kind of I know it's gonna be an issue as a PC gamer. I noticed that there's a bit of a stutter when I play it, and I thought maybe it was just my shit, but this is actually a common issue that people run into when they're trying to run Fallout New Vegas. And so they got different mods and adjustments that you can make to try to fix it. But basically, even though I'm excited about, playing games on my computer, I'm not looking forward to the aspect where you got to figure out how to get the shit working smoothly based on each individual game. And that's why I really love playing consoles, because you know that it's going to come packaged in such a way that it's going to run relatively smoothly to where you won't feel the need to have to modify it and shit like that. And that's I feel like again, it runs pretty good, but that stutter is something that a lot of people have to deal with and figure out a way around, whether through mods and shit. And it was kind of like my introduction to the world of oh shit, right? You can't just download a game and enjoy it. You got to figure out how to get it running too. But it runs and it plays pretty well overall. Let's check out Dragon's Dogma.
Here's another path, Master. It is our valor against the worms. Suffer the worms. We'll rout them in a single charge. It's far stronger than a common goblin. No. I fear the whole of the vanguard has been set. A fall here means death. I'll take care of it. Attack! Stay ever ready as we advance. Are there no other survivors? A survivor!
Okay, so that was a quick Dragon's Dogma demonstration. Now, Dragon's Dogma is one of the games that ran perfectly. It ran pretty much perfectly, other than some slight screen tearing, and I think that had to do with the fact that I just updated my AMD drivers, so I think I got to go back and reconfigure something. But Dragon's Dogma was cool because I launched that and it worked perfectly compared to some of the other tests I did where I had to, you know, fool around with the settings and whatnot. That really worked perfectly. All right, so last but not least, let's try Resident Evil 2 Remake.
You asked
asking you get back here.
Why? What's that?
I've got something to show you. It's important.
All right, I'm on my way.
Okay, so that was the Resident Evil 2 remake test. Now that ran extremely smoothly. Now, again, I know most people aren't going to be impressed by me running these goddamn games that are 5 to 10 years old. But for me, you know, coming from a laptop that couldn't even run a PS2 emulator and then being able to do all this, it's a big improvement. And I feel like I've only really scratched the surface. I'm not even pushing it to the absolute limit, you know, by, you know, getting like one of the newer games and trying to, you know, get the settings up. I just wanted to kind of use really Resident Evil 2 Remake as the benchmark of where I wanted the power level of this PC to be, and it runs it very well and everything beneath that. Now, again, getting into being a PC gamer, the thing that I've noticed, because I've been doing different experiments with different games and shit like that. Now, programs are one thing. Like so far, the software, you know, Adobe, FL Studio, the software that I typically use, fine, right? It's very responsive. The internet is fast. I didn't realize how unresponsive my laptop was until I started using this. This thing is so fast, it's so quiet. The fan rarely really gets going. But the issue that I've noticed the most, and I'm not really surprised, but is with gaming, it just seems like with every game or almost every game, there's like a unique issue that you got to try to troubleshoot and figure out, right? Like I can run Fallout New Vegas fine, but then there's the stutter issue that I and a lot of other people have to deal with. When you're doing, when you're emulating different consoles, different games require different settings. And even when you're trying to record those games, you got to adjust OBS settings. So that's the difficult thing that I've noticed so far. Because again, I barely ever really consider myself any kind of like PC gamer outside of like just emulating PS1 for years. And now that I'm kind of stepping my game up, that's what I'm noticing the most, right? Is that even when you have something that's strong enough, that's powerful enough to run it, that's not really enough. Like there are so many different processes and intricacies to running a game properly that you can literally have the most powerful computer and still run into different issues. But again, you know, you got to take the good with the bad when it comes to, you know, trying to be a PC gamer. And let me tell you, I've already put some new mods on my Resident Evil 2 remake. So, you know, that's the good that goes along with the bad of having to figure out how to get each individual game working properly. But yeah, overall, you know, I'm very satisfied. I'm very pleased with my purchase. This is the most powerful computer I've ever owned. It's very fast, and I haven't really pushed it to its limits yet. I'm still just trying to figure out how to get the things that I want going the way I need to, right? Now, I said this earlier, but I did my first stream test on Twitch where I ran Resident Evil 2 Remake at about 1080p. I ran my PS2 emulator on 720p, you know, just doing different tests. And so again, we are still just trying to figure out what I can do with this. But so far, it seems like the sky's the limit. I feel like I can basically do everything that I really needed to. And quite frankly, the gaming stuff is more like a bonus. I feel like the main things, better quality streaming, the music, video editing, those were the main, most important aspects I really needed. And those are working perfectly fine. Gaming, fun is cool. I can do more, but the more you can do, the more problems you run into as a PC gamer. But yeah, that's my Minisforum, mini PC, what's it called? UM780 review. Very satisfied. Looking forward to using it a lot more. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you next time. So, Johnny.